I remember it like yesterday, you know, it was 2006 and I was working between the barrels and suddenly David was behind me and said, Charles, can you make an icon style wine for me? And I said, what are we going to call it? He said, Rubaiyat. He asked me, Charles, do you know Rubaiyat? I said, no, I'm from Bredasdorp. But anyway, let me open this for you and let's take a sip of it. It's 2017, exceptional vintage, you know, in the industry. The general feeling is that 2015 is the best vintage ever in South Africa, but I can assure you 17 is very close to it. But anyway, let me open this for you and let's take a sip of it. Perfect.
Thank you.
You and your dad, when you join, say, Charles, what is the next step from here after Rubaiyat? And of course, that's where we create Baronet, and that's a blend of Shiraz, 60%, our best and oldest Shiraz, and 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 20% on average year after year Petit Verdot. And this three varieties is a great combination for this wine.
And that's Baronet Sir David Graaff, eh?
Yeah, the Baronet stay is 2 year in oak, so we go for massive structure, massive work with the fruit, and to end up with quite a sort of serious extract. This wine, I will say with confidence, will last under ideal conditions 15 to 20 years. I'm convinced that the great vintages of Baronet will last up to 30 years. "70% of our wine is from the farm, and it's so important to have your base here. But over time, you allow me to sort of put my foot into wine like from Elim, that's very unique, a Shiraz that's have very unique flavors. And here is our sort of vintage Shiraz, not vintage, but coastal region Shiraz we produce. This is our most successful wine when it gets to competitions and accolades over many years. And then our real old sort of reliable rugby player is Merlot. We produce 10,000 cases of this. Our biggest single volume wine is Sauvignon Blanc 2021, also wine of origin Cape Town. In this wine there's 8% Semillon, and I'm so proud of what we achieve here. We start with 600 cases in 2004 and now we produce 13,000 cases. People just love a fresh, aromatic, expressive, dry wine.
Why does it do so well in this climatic region where we're located here on the Die Berg hill on the Grendel?
Yeah, it's fascinating. According to general information, we are the closest to the ocean of all the Durbanville farms, but we are on the western slope, so it's slightly warmer, so our wines lean a bit more towards styles, where Villiers inland, inland just behind the mountain here, is produced more in a mid-toxipyrazines. But for that we have two styles. We have the Sauvignon Blanc and the Coetzés. That is sort of old vineyards that I've been buying for many, many years from Darling. And this, interestingly enough, is a Western Cape wine, because if it was only Darling and ourselves, we can call it Western Cape, we can call it coastal region, but the fact that we have about 10% of Lutzville, that's literally across a border, appellation, and for that reason it's a Western Cape wine. And then something very special to our range, Die Berg on the mountain. This is vineyards growing at 960 meters above sea level, and it makes it so unique that in winter time sometimes we have snow covering the soil, although the plant is dormant, so the snow doesn't mean a lot, but it's just fascinating. I think of a South African vineyard where the soil and the big parts of the vine is covered with snow.
And Die Berg, for those that don't understand Afrikaans, means on the mountain.
On the mountain.
And it's continental growing conditions.
Yeah, very different than here. Our vineyards is all ocean influence or maritime influence. This is continental, that you mentioned, hot days and very cold nights with a huge fluctuation in temperature, and ideal for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and that's where these two wines is from.
And what's the reason that our wines have got such good longevity?
It's the fact that our acidities, I will say 98% of this fruit is growing in cool regions, and as you know, in a cool region the acidities tend to be a gram or what higher, and it's critical. Even a 0.3, 0.2, 0.1 gram difference is extremely important. and that ensure sort of a bit more freshness, a bit more fresh fruit on the palate. It ensure a lower pH, and a lower pH is a 100% indication of the longevity and the potential to age.
So I was just about to say that South Africans tend to like drinking Sauvignon Blanc as young and as fresh as possible. But are Sauvignon Blancs you can drink years later?
Yeah, no, and what's so amazing with the Kutses, we actually prefer to release it a year later. I think it's quickly people will say it's more for the expert or the connoisseur.
Charles, last but not least, what's now known as Cape Agulhas. How did that come about?
I think when you start establishing a range, your clientele that visit you, specifically a tasting room, and especially in summer, there's always this question, guys, do you have a bubbly? And we start with a brut, it's 70% Chardonnay and 30% Pinot Noir. And following on that is this quite unique product, Proposal Hill. And some of the Graaff family members got engaged here on the farm on a copy here, just near the winery. And this is 100% Pinot Noir from the farm. And it also spent, this one spent 2 years on the lease, so it's very rich, very full, very special, framboos, red fruit, and just a great drink. And of course, both of them are dry. In the world now, rosé is the biggest growing wine category. And in this case, it's a blend of Cabernet and Pinotage. We keep it 6 hours on the skins just to extract this amazing pink salmon color. And it's dry and it's filled with fruit again, red fruit, something similar like the bubbly. That's just a bit more refined due to the bubble in it. But this is a great drink. It's a unpretentious drink. It's a drink you can have with any food, any time of the day. You can drink it in a bath with somebody. You can drink it, wherever.